We're joined by Ryan McKenna, our Paralympic sledge hockey expert from Sochi. He just got back a week ago. So first off, Ryan, how's the time change treating you?
It was pretty rough last week, but it's good to be back, and it's nice to get on some sort of routine back here in Canada.
Well, I don't blame you because I'd feel the same way, but Canada came home from the Paralympic sledge hockey event with a bronze medal. How do you think they feel about that?
They're pretty excited about that. I talked to a few of the guys after the game, and especially after 2010, whenever they lost in the bronze medal game to Norway. So they came home with nothing on home soil, and here they are in Sochi, and they actually come home with something. And you know what? I spoke with Billy Bridges, a forward on the team, and he just said, more so than anything, at least we're coming home with something. I'll forget about everything that happened in Vancouver, and at least we have something to come home with and to show our big supporters back home. And for them, I think that meant a lot.
So in the gold medal game, it was the United States defeating Russia. How did the United States win that game, and what did they do to really get over the hump?
It was actually not a super exciting. The final shots on goal were 6-4, so there wasn't a whole lot of offense to be created. Really, the only offense that came in the 1-0 game was Josh Sweeney picking off Russian defenseman at the hash marks in his own zone in the middle of the second period, and then that was all the offense that they needed. I mean, the U.S. has had strong goaltending from Steve Cash ever since the start of the Vancouver 2010 games. His shutout streak got broken in Sochi, but he was just absolutely magnificent, and the United States become the first ever country to become back-to-back Paralympic champions.
That's pretty remarkable, and there were some pretty remarkable players in the tournament. Who would be your 3 stars?
Number 3, I'd probably have to go with Declan Farmer of the United States. Only 16 years old, and he was absolutely lights out. He was one of the biggest performers at Sochi, and think of 4 years' time, Pyeongchang, just how good he's going to be. He scored 2 goals against Canada in the semifinals and was the difference in that game. Second star would be Adam Dixon of Canada, defenseman. He actually led the tournament in scoring with 7 points. He was very good throughout, a really good offensive defenseman, and really showed why in Sochi. And then I'm going to have to give my first star to silver medalist goaltender Vladimir Kamenchev. He was lights out. He didn't start the tournament as the number 1. He came in the second game, and he just shut the door. He finished second in goaltending stats, I think, with a 9.52 save percentage. He was really, really good, and a lot of the reason why Russia made it to the gold medal game.
Now, obviously, your beat was the sledge hockey, but we know that reporters like to go to other events. They like to kind of see what's going on. What events did you really enjoy going to aside from the sledge hockey?
I love going up to the mountains. I only got to go there one day to Rosa Couture as well as Laura, but that was really cool. But I think my favorite part of things was the ice cube where the curling was. I'd never seen curling live before, and let alone wheelchair curling. And I went there twice, and the second time Canada ended up winning a gold medal. So that was pretty cool, and definitely something that I'll always remember, especially singing the national anthem.
So the Paralympics and the Olympics are often about moments. If you could put your experience into a moment, what would be the Ryan McKenna moment of the 2014 Paralympics?
You know what? Just interacting, I think, with the players was really big for me. You don't really realize how big of a difference you're making in their lives and towards the Paralympic movement until you're actually at one of these games. And I got a super warm reception from the Russian captain, Dmitry Lisov, whenever I met him after their semifinal win. He got up out of his wheelchair and was shaking my hand with both of his hands, a big smile on his face. That was really cool. And just also speaking with Billy Bridges after their bronze medal win on the Saturday. Him and I are from the same province, Prince Edward Island, and just those sort of little connections and getting to know the athletes, I think, as a whole was really big for me.
Well, we're so glad that you were able to join us in studio here today. We know we've been hyping that for weeks, so we're glad to finally get it done. We thank you so much for your time. For Ryan McKenna, I'm Alex Chippen. This is Ryersonian TV.